In the previous video I started on verse 315, but I didn't quite finish it, so I'll just read it out again and finish it off. There are 5 kinds of the Icchantika, so with the families, which are 5. There are 5 vehicles and no vehicle, and 6 kinds of Nirvana. So in the previous video I covered the Icchantika. 2 types of Icchantika. The Icchantika is a being that is devoid of Buddha nature, a being for whom it is incapable for liberation to happen. And it was a bit of a shock because the 2 types of Icchantika mentioned in the text are Buddhists who refute the Bodhisattva path, who make the false accusation that the Bodhisattva is not in conformity with the sutras, the codes of morality and the emancipation. But even bigger shock is the other kind of Icchantika was the Bodhisattva himself, the Bodhisattva who forgoes Nirvana until all other beings are liberated. If you forego Nirvana, then you're an Icchantika. So it's not a path to follow. So what are the other 3 Icchantikas? Well, this verse gives us a clue. It talks about the families, which are 5. And these families are certain orders of being. And again, they're all certain types of Buddhist. Professor Suzuki actually covers this in a companion volume called Studies in the Lankavatara Sutra. And he talks about this on page 217. He mentions that according to the Lankavatara Sutra there are 5 orders of beings. These will be the 5 families. There are those belonging to the Shravaka order, those of the Pratchaka Buddha order, and those of the Tathagata order. There are those who belong to no definite order, and those who are altogether outside these orders. And the Shravakas are described as those who enjoy certain teachings, but they've not yet destroyed their habit energy. They have actually attained the realization of Nirvana. So this must be one of the Nirvanas, or one of the 6 kinds of Nirvana. But it's important to bear in mind here, there's only one Nirvana, but there are different levels of being established in it. They've realized the insubstantiality of the ego, but not of the world. So in a way this isn't quite complete. And there's a possibility that you might still believe in a creator God or an ego soul. So these are the Shravakas. So it seems possible to enter into Nirvana even if you've got some limiting beliefs. And this fits in with the understanding of enlightenment practice. It's possible for anybody to touch enlightenment, but the real work is concerned with becoming more and more established in it. So the Shravaka represents a certain limitation which we must go beyond in order to become established in it. If we don't go beyond it, then to some extent we're an Icchantika. We're not willing to challenge our limitations. So this is the essence of the Icchantika, not being able to let go of a particular belief or understanding. So the second category, which could be the fourth Icchantika, is that of the Pratchika Buddha. The Pratchika Buddha is described as a being that is very self-absorbed, that sees everything in terms of their own liberation. They're not interested in other beings. They think the universe centres on them. The third order of beings is that of the Tathagatas, and these are divided into three. There are those who gain an insight into the truth, that there's no individual reality behind what one perceives. Those who know that there is an immediate perception of the truth in one's inmost consciousness, and those who perceive that besides this world there are a great number of Buddha lands, wide and far extending. And I certainly don't think we can include the Tathagata in the category of Icchantika. But we've got this fourth order of beings. The fourth one is of indeterminate nature. For those who belong to it, may take to either one of the above three orders according to their opportunities. So I suppose this fourth order is one that flits between that of the Shravika and the Pratchika Buddha. So are these five families. We've got the Shravikas, Pratchika Buddhas, the Tathagatas, those who are a mixture, and the Icchantikas. I don't think it really matters what the five kinds of Icchantika are. We've got the Shravika that's been mentioned, we've got a particular sort of Bodhisattva, we've got the Pratchika Buddha, we've got those that aren't fixed but can move between the other ones, and I suspect the fifth one could be the Arahat. The point is, they can all attain Nirvana, but are they working? Do they continue to work to become established in Nirvana? Do they continue to keep their realization fresh? Or are they promoting certain frameworks, certain fixed frameworks as the truth? This is what must be watched out for. And this is indicated in the five vehicles and no vehicle. So you can get to Nirvana even though your insight and understanding is limited. It's possible for anybody to touch liberation. But if you start believing you've found the truth and communicating that truth in a particular format, then this is limiting. You're saying that your truth, you have found the path, the way to liberation, the vehicle. And it might be true to a limited extent. But ultimately you must realize there's no vehicle, no vehicle. So these are the 6 nirvanas. It's possible for us all to touch it, but in working to become established in it, there are many limitations which must be avoided. And ultimately, we come to no limitation, no vehicle. We go beyond all limitations, all frameworks, all beliefs, all understanding.